Hello. Do you have time for an interview?
Sorry?
Want to do an interview? I'm open.
Sure. I
Awesome.
don't know how many contributions I will have to the topics listed, but
No problem. Welcome. Have you done any finals this week? Is that what's happening this week? Finals?
Yeah, I did 2 finals and I have 2 projects due.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I am trying to practice this way of having conversations called street epistemology.
Okay.
It's like a Socratic way of having conversations. It's a friendly way where someone comes up, brings up a claim, a topic, a belief, and I help them think through it and kind of reason about our reasoning together about it to try to figure out, why should someone believe this or not? That type of thing. Yeah. Want to do that?
Sure, yeah.
Awesome. I have a topic over there for astrology. That's a potential one topic to talk about. And I have another friend and an enthusiast that's also on the stream with us. Like I'm live streaming as well. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's really cool.
And I'm trying to allow people to practice with people. And would you like to chat with my friend about that topic, astrology? If that's
Sure, yeah.
yeah. Like, what are your thoughts on? Well, I'll let him talk about it with you.
Should I put the headphones?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Feel free. And I'll get this all set up.
I've walked by this a ton. I've always been what is this?
Yeah. You've seen me here before.
Yeah, I've seen you a couple times.
Awesome. Let me make sure this is working, and then I'll turn this around. This is Nathan.
Hello.
Hi, Nathan.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hi. I can hear you, yeah.
Hey, how's it going? I hear it's finals week down there.
It is, yeah. I'm like halfway through right now. I'm barely awake. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to...
Sorry.
You're all good. To debate this, or talk, but, yeah, I'm halfway through.
Sure, yeah. Well, I share the same hobby here with Reed, and I usually go out in parks and kind of do the same thing. Although I don't normally just say, hey, you want to talk about this topic? Normally I'm like, hey, anything that's on your mind, anything that you think is true, because whatever that is, I want to dig into it with you and see kind of like how
really
you came to form the belief. Yeah. You can learn a lot just like listening to people about whatever is interesting to them. And I was just talking to Reed about how I sometimes in Portland get the topic of astrology a lot brought to my table, which is why he brought that up, I think.
Yeah, it's a good topic. It's
Yeah. Go ahead.
You first.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so we were just talking about that before, astrology, and I think somebody else came to the table bringing that up too. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm not sure. I think I don't know if I believe in astrology completely, just because I actually don't really know why. I'm agnostic. I'm still trying to figure out what I believe in, if anything. I personally like astrology in the sense that I don't necessarily believe in it completely, but I think it's a really fun thing to kind of indulge in. And also, I like the idea of looking at like horoscopes and stuff like that, because I feel like even if it isn't real, even if it's completely made up, I like that the advice that is given by like horoscopes, like, oh, try and see the world in this point of view, or try opening up to this person today, because I think even if it's completely BS, it forces you to change your view and maybe look at a problem in a different way, because you're like, oh, I'm a Scorpio, I'm supposed to do this today. Then it might have been an approach you would never have thought of before, and can be like, oh shit, like that worked out really well. So I think it's fun, and it can be a very useful tool. I don't know if I necessarily believe in it. No.
Okay, so it's maybe you dabble. It's fun, and
Yeah.
It's like a way to, if I'm hearing you correctly, like look at things from a new perspective, or look at yourself from a new perspective, or others. Is that kind of okay? All right.
That's kind of what it is, and gives you insight.
And you said that you were kind of agnostic to the ideas as well. In street epistemology, we like to do this thing where we like to imagine how to quantify the way we weight the truth of something on a scale between 0 and 100. Like you could just say like some percentage or something. If 100 was
Gotcha.
there you go. If 100 was I'm absolutely certain and 0 is I'm just filled with questions, where do you think you'd be?
That's hard. I would say probably like here. If white
yes.
was 0, and
Okay.
dark gray was 100. it'd be
Dark
right
gray. If dark gray was 100, so you'd be mostly like filled with questions about it.
now. Yeah, or I guess I have no idea, but it's not really something I think about often. It just kind of like if religion as a concept exists, it's just not something I put a lot of thought into on a daily basis. And also because I'm not really surrounded by religious people, so it doesn't come up a lot
Yeah.
in conversation. So I just kind of forget it exists, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. If it, so you're mostly filled with questions. What do you imagine people who believe in it? What number do you think they would give? The people that you know. Do you know some people that believe in it?
I think it would be somewhere in the middle, like here-ish.
Yeah.
I know very few people who are deeply set in their religion and don't think about it or question it. And it's mainly people that are much older as opposed to like people my age. Every religious person I know that's my age is still very filled with questions. So. Oh, that's what that is.
Okay. And then I'm curious. Yeah, that beeping.
Yeah.
It's got to back up
He's backing
somewhere.
up. Just taking his... Yeah. He's taking his sweet time. He's not hitting the trash cans, though.
There it is.
There we go.
Where do you think it came from? Like, how did astrology come about, do you suppose?
I personally think that all types of faith and religion are almost exist as coping mechanisms for the idea that we truly do not know what happens after death. We do not know what governs our universe. And for a lot of people, it's very comforting knowing that there's something we can do to ensure that we will have some sort of peace for essentially eternity, aka something like heaven or nirvana, where it's like there is an end goal and we can strive, we can change something about this big, wide question that we can't control and we have absolutely no idea about.
Wow,
and I
so
think that
resonate with
astrology
that.
is just one example of that.
Right. Like, people are getting something from this belief. Like, it's helping them, from their perspective, it's helping them to, and correct me if this isn't right, I'm just kind of like grabbing onto some things that I heard. We have a lot of questions.
No, I think that's
right. And some people are.
And it's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's like a way of answering. It's kind of. This is my friend. It's a way of answering, or at least trying to answer what we can't answer, and also like the human need to categorize things, to make sense of things. We tend to just kind of put them somewhere, and so like I'm guilty of making the joke of like, oh, she's a Scorpio, like of course she'd think that. Yeah. But it's like a way of categorizing and trying to understand people and gain insight kind of in an easy way without thinking. I think that kind of helps us also gain more control over people and understanding them.
So what do you suppose would be the second best way, other than this thing, to feel like we gain control over our ability to understand ourselves or other people?
I
when we have
personally
these
think
questions?
that I don't know if there's like a better method. I think it's much more of like just allowing people to believe whatever they want to believe as long as it's not directly harming others. Like having just letting people like exist in their religious communities and not as long as no one is hurting anyone. I really don't like if it works as a coping mechanism for you and you strongly believe in it and it gives you a feeling of purpose, a feeling of safety, then go for it. Great, fantastic. I don't really know if there's any other way because there's really isn't any way to figure out, at least in our scope of understanding, what is out there, if there is some kind of God or if the stars actually do influence our personalities. There's no way of really knowing. So, there's no harm in believing what you would like to believe if it gives you some kind of sense of peace and control.
Yeah, if it provides us a sense of peace or control and it's not harming anybody, then it's kind of a live and let live sort of philosophy for you.
Yeah.
Do you think, so this is a hypothetical, and I'm not, so this is just a hypothetical. If it weren't true, would the belief be harmful?
If like everyone knew, if it was like common knowledge
Let's
that
say
it wasn't true.
let's say that, well, I might be skipping ahead, though. If it's not true, hypothetically speaking, yet people were believing it was true, would it be harmful?
I think, it's a difficult question. Normally I would say no, as long as they're not forcing other people to believe it too. I would say. I think you can, personally, I think anyone can like believe whatever they want to, and if it is incorrect or harmful to themselves, it's kind of like a that's your issue kind of thing. As long as it's not like trying to convince other people that that is not the truth. Which I think that in that situation it would be like incredibly harmful, and I think
Yeah,
should
like
be looked at.
shoving
but
your views down somebody else's throat. Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
but
well,
if it's like you're only harming yourself, there's not really much anyone else can do about it.
all right. Well, thank you for answering my questions. It's really brave of you to come on here in front of a microphone and all that. Do you have any questions for me? I'm a totally open book.
Not really. I'm really glad I sat down and talked to you though, because I've walked by this stand like 8 times on my way to class, and I've always wondered. I've always been in like a hurry or late to something. I always wondered like, what is this?
This
So
is my
you
first time
solved
ever
that.
like doing this through a computer to somebody like in public, like you're doing now.
Really?
Normally I'm the one sitting at a table, or I'm at a festival or something like that, or at a
Shit.
park. And so this is my first time like talking to a camera and then like communicating through an iPad or whatever I'm on right now. But it's
That's
it's a
so
lot of fun.
interesting.
Yeah.
Do you
We're just
prefer
trying
like
something
in
new out.
person or like?
Oh yeah, definitely prefer in person. There's just so much like body language and communication that I can
Nuance.
pick up on. Yeah, in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do
Interesting. Thank you
prefer
for-
in person, but either way. Yeah, thanks for sharing
you
your
for,
views.
like,
I really
signing.
appreciate that.
Thank you for listening. I hope
Okay.
you have a wonderful day. I hope you get a lot of people. You talk to a lot of more people and get more insight and have these conversations. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
All right. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. Take care.
You too. Thank you for having me. I'm all good.